I think so. So I think, first off, am I on? I think my sound is good. Good morning. My sound is good. If you're still coming in, come on in. Come and find a good, comfortable seat. If you're joining us online, I hope your seat is comfortable where you are. I am the Reverend Monica Jacobson. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve this congregation as minister. I am so grateful that you have made the choice, once again, or for the first time, or to return after a long hiatus, to be part of this community, this gathering, this worship service, this recreation and co-creation of this network of people, all of us invested in helping to create a better world. Leading worship with me today are Barbara Stebbins-Bowes as our celebrant, David Yackel and Cheryl Randall offering special music. Annie Jocelyn is our Lifelines lay minister. Can't find Annie. There she is. There's Annie. Eric Schumann and Archie and Caleb Jocelyn will be leading a special presentation later in the service. Sarah Pickett is at the tech table, and Doc Hadley made our slides. Not only do we co-create worship by choosing to gather, we co-create worship every week as many different people offer their time and their gifts and their skills to make our services live. We gather this morning, as we always gather, as a community of seekers. We know that each and every one of us is carrying questions, searching for wisdom and inspiration to help us live lives of meaning, gathering amidst all that is hard and heartbreaking in the world and in our own lives, and also amidst all that is beautiful, all that is hopeful, all that sustains us in the world and in our own lives. You are welcome here exactly as you are. Whatever beliefs sustain you, whomever you love, however you understand and express your identities, and in all the ways you are still becoming the person you will be. You are even welcome here on this Super Bowl Sunday if you come in as a Patriots fan. You are especially welcome if you, like me, don't know anything about football and barely know that it's the Seahawks and the Patriots today. You are welcome here. And now, will you join me in taking a good, deep breath? Feel the air come in and fill your body. Feel it go out. Know that you are here in this gathering with these people. You are not anywhere else. So that means whatever is on your to-do list, whatever is not yet washed in your kitchen sink, whatever is happening on the news, whatever is happening with any football players anywhere in the world, all of it, you can let it wait for an hour as we share this time to connect and to ground and center ourselves. Come, let us worship. Please rise in body, in voice, or in spirit for our gathering hymn. It's number 126, Come, Thou Fount of Every Blessing, and Cheryl Randall will lead us.
Of every blessing, tune our hearts to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. While the hope of life's perfection fills our hearts with joy and love, teach us ever to be faithful. May we still thy goodness prove. Come, thou fount of every vision, lift our eyes to what may come. See the lion and the young lamb dwell together in thy home. Hear
The friends and members of UUCS strive toward living in a way that affirms meaning. Whether you are new or have been coming here for a while, look afresh at these ways of being and ask yourself how they shape your life now and into the future. Please join me as we say this affirmation together. The words are projected or in your order of service. Now, love is our doctrine, compassion is our way. Here we seek to create a joyful home for free religious exploration, build a community of caring fellowship, nurture hopes, and serve the needs of our world. Every Sunday, we light chalices as symbols of hope in and connection to the here and now, distant lands, and the unknown future. First, we light the chalice of our Unitarian Universalist congregation. Next, the chalice of our partner church in Šibenfalva, Transylvania. And finally, a lantern for our children and youth all around the world, the shapers of tomorrow. Let us sing our flame into life. Rise up, O flame, thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
Each week, when we gather, we make space for a time for all ages. So if you are somebody young or young at heart or simply still young enough in the hips and the knees that sitting on the floor will work for you, you're welcome to come forward and join me. You're also perfectly welcome to stay where you are, whatever is your preference this morning. And Annie is going to help me with a very special exploration of what it means to be a people of covenant. And Archie is up here too, by the way, just for an extra incentive. He is living his best life. Archie is the therapy dog. He's living his best life on the floor right now. He's like rolling over even further to get more pets. It's great. So, as Unitarian Universalists, we are people of covenant. Anybody remember hearing the word covenant? Does that sound familiar to you at all? No? Does that sound kind of new? How about the big kids who stayed in their chairs? Just wave your hand. Have you heard the word covenant? It's kind of familiar? Okay, awesome. Does anybody want to try to define what a covenant is? Yes, Tom. It comes from a Latin word that means coming together. Excellent. I'm a real etymology nerd, and I love a Latin root, so thank you, Tom. That was great. Yes, it is a word that means how we come together, and often in our communities we use it to mean what are the promises we make to each other about how we're going to be together. We're going to treat each other with kindness. We're going to listen when somebody has a problem that we could all work on together. We're going to learn more about how to be welcoming and inclusive, right? Those kinds of promises. Covenants are a kind of agreement, but they are not the same as contracts. Anybody heard the word contract before? Yeah, right? Lots of people have heard the word contract. When you get a cell phone, you have to sign a contract. When you move into your housing, you have to sign a contract, right? We've heard this before. So our UU theologian, the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker, describes the differences this way. She says a contract is between two people, right? Party A and party B. And it's kind of brittle. If something happens and you don't follow the terms of the contract and it's broken, well, that's it. You have a big problem. You broke the contract. Covenants, she says, are different because, yes, they are between this person and this person, but also those people are connected to their aspirations, their values, their goals for how to live in the world and the kind of community we want to create together. So a covenant is really a triangle rather than a line. And this is important because, well, let me ask you, by a show of hands, who here is a perfect, flawless human being? Okay, couple hands. You can teach the rest of us. I am not, and I have never been, a perfect, flawless human being. I comfort myself that some of this is because mistakes just happen. Maybe I thought I was doing everything the way I meant to, but I didn't read the email correctly, and so I said something that wasn't what the other person was expecting, and oops, it was a mistake. Although honestly, sometimes it happens because I'm feeling really stressed, and I'm rushing, and I'm not paying attention the way I intend to. Or I'm really upset about somebody who cut me off in traffic, and I'm not even upset at the person I'm speaking with, but I'm still like, oh, I really don't have time for this right now. And they're like, whoa, hey, I was just saying good morning. Does this happen to anybody else? Yeah. Okay, so along with the perfect people, we have some other flawed human beings. Excellent news. So because we know that these things happen, we know we make mistakes, we know we have bad days, we also know that no matter how much we plan to always treat each other kindly, sometimes it won't happen, right? This is just life. So I need some helpers to demonstrate how our covenant works when this happens. Can I get 2 helpers up here? Who can come up and join Annie? It's okay to get a grown-up for the other helper, too. Okay. Ooh, perfect. Come on up. Come on up, come on up. Covenants can be between many people, that's fine. Come on up. Yeah. I need somebody to come down here and hold the end of this piece of yarn. Can a couple of you come down here and hold it? There you go, and you stand right there. Okay. And then, River, can you hold this end? Okay. And can you back up just a little bit so the yarn is pulled tight? Perfect. Can everybody see the yarn? Okay. This yarn is part of your covenant with each other, right? This yarn is you saying, we're going to treat each other kindly, we're going to share, we're going to pay attention to each other's feelings. Now let's imagine someone's having a bad day. And what happens? Oops. Uh-oh. But remember, you're still connected invisibly in this triangle, right? By the fact that what you want is to be able to have a good friendship with each other. Oh, come on, River. There's one more part. Can you keep holding? Okay. So after this happens, and this can happen to any of us, what do? We might say, oops. Oh, I'm so sorry. I totally misread your email. I lost my temper and it wasn't even about you. I apologize. And when we do that, and the other person says, oh, I understand, and we repair our covenant, did you see what these 2 had to do? They had to come closer together to do that. So one of the beautiful things when we make these promises is to know that when they inevitably don't work out perfectly, it is actually an opportunity for us to get closer together as we say, I'm so sorry. Let's talk about what happened. I want to do better next time. So thank you both. That was great. Thank you, thank you.
Now, friends, I have some birthday cards. Last week I couldn't be here. I'm really sorry. But I brought them for this week. And I have a birthday card for Joseph. Is Joseph here today? Or Harry? Sierra? No, I think I have at least one here, though. I'm pretty sure. Luca? And Evan. Evan, I thought Evan was here. There you go, Evan. Happy birthday. And I have one other one. Is there any other February birthday? Right over here. Oh my goodness, happy birthday. And I heard, oh, that's exciting. I heard a rumor that there's cake during coffee hour today for all February birthdays. So that's pretty special. Okay, you guys? With that, can we please make the love arch?
Wherever you walk, walk in love. Wherever you walk, wherever you walk in beauty all around you. Our hearts go with you. Wherever you walk, walk in love. Wherever you walk in peace. Wherever you walk in beauty all around you. Our hearts go with you.
I'm sure some of you were here for it and remember it well. In the surrounding area, over 300,000 homes lost power, 10,000 trees were damaged, and 1,000 acres of tree canopy were lost. What am I talking about? It is the anti-Valentine from Mother Nature, who delivered from February 11th through the 15th of 2021 a super ice storm that coated every surface with about an inch of ice. Whew. Just before it all began, oblivious of what was to come, my husband and I kissed goodbye. He left Salem and headed over the Cascade Mountains to babysit grandkids for a few days in Sun River. This was a rare occasion when I had agreed to stay home with our little dog, Winnie the Pooch, who was not allowed to go. As it grew dark, rain turned to ice, which I could hear ticking on the roof. Tick, tick, tick. Winnie and I felt pretty cozy, though, warm and dry in the living room with a fire in the gas stove. Even the night had a magical twinkle to it, for the ice-covered streets, trees, and sidewalks sparkled under the streetlight. As the hours passed, I began to hear a slow-growing undertone of crackling and snaps as tree limbs, grass blades, camellia bushes, power lines, everything began bowing down under the weight of solid water. Winnie and I went to bed that night with some fear. We were surrounded by mature trees, including some very tall Doug firs. Having grown up in the intense winters of New England, go Pats, I knew that the increasing weight of ice could induce a breaking point when limbs and whole trees fall. And so it was. Late into the night, sharp booms filled the air as tree fibers snapped and let out a thud as they hit the ground. Explosions and sudden white flares lit the night sky as transformers blew up across the neighborhood and the city. Winnie and I didn't sleep much. The next day, no surprise, we had no electricity. I called the family in Sun River and shared the exciting events Mother Nature had wrought in the valley and how relatively boring it must have been east of the mountains. Little did I know that the trees would continue to break for some days and our house would have no electricity for about a week. But here's the thing, and I don't know exactly where it comes from. I was less afraid and more in awe of this weather event. Neighbors came out and we all exclaimed together, "Wow!" We shared whatever we knew about damage to homes or blocked roads, told each other how to to beware of downed electric lines, and kept each other apprised of where blackouts were and where electricity had been restored, what coffee shops were and grocery stores were open. We picked up limbs together and took lots of photos. We cared for each other, friends and strangers alike. It always amazes me that despite messy, violent storms, the sun will shine. That it did on the third day, and the ice started melting. Now, Winnie and I were extremely lucky that no tree or wire fell on our property. However, the ice had transformed the 2 maples which grew between the front door and the street into weeping willows. All the long limbs, weighted down with ice, were arced over such that the top tips were nearly touching the ground. At that point, my ancient inherited farming genes spoke to me, and I went out to the shed and grabbed the loppers and trimmed all the branches I could reach. I thought this rare pruning opportunity of the tops of these trees would allow more light onto the garden below, come spring, which would come, and help the trees bounce back to their normal shape. Indeed, there was joy in doing something proactive. It was even enhanced, you could say, by my frequent whoops when chunks of melting ice slipped inside my jacket collar and down my back. Although I wished my husband had been there to share the experience, I had Winnie the Pooch, a comforting, furry storm companion who eagerly watched from the living room window.
Dreams completely new. Find people whom you love and like, who likewise treasure you, and above all, dare to make mistakes, to push and change your world, to always persevere, to dream away of futures yet unfurled.
Good morning. I am going to officially say that my name is Annie Minden. I started filling out the paperwork this week. Not actually legal yet, but I am one of your Lifeline Lay ministers. And we Lifeline Lay ministers are fellow members of your congregation who are here to help people in times of need. You can find us by looking for our lavender stoles and badges. One of our duties is sharing joys and sorrows of members of the congregation, because we know sorrows shared may be lightened even a little bit, and joys shared may be magnified. This morning, I have one joy to share. It is from Adina Reeves, and she says, "My birthday is this week, and there is cake for all of the February birthdays for coffee hour." Thank you, Adina. We also light one more candle for any joys and sorrows felt in your hearts but not shared today.
I want to add one more candle of connection, really. I had a little conversation this morning with Annie and some of the other Lifelines folks. So yesterday I was looking at a collegial Facebook group where ministers will share things with each other. And one of the ministers who serves in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul said, "Some of you had asked if your congregations could send cards and notes of support for UUs who are in Minneapolis and St. Paul, who are responding to the cruelty and the chaos of what federal immigration agents are doing." And he said, honestly, I thought it was kind of hokey, but I said, yeah, go ahead, I guess, sure. And he said, I'm here to tell you all I was wrong. Getting these cards is incredibly meaningful. We've taped them on the walls all over our congregational building, and they give us such strength, and they remind us that we are not alone, and that you all over the country are thinking of us. So I mentioned this morning, perhaps we too would like to have some cards out at coffee hour to send to fellow Unitarian Universalists who are living in incredibly stressful circumstances and doing everything they can to say, the beloved community that we dream of involves everyone being treated with care and respect. And it is such a hard time to be standing up for that vision right now. So one more candle for all those UUs in the Minneapolis, St. Paul, and surrounding areas. And a reminder to you, if you are here in the building, to look for the table at coffee hour. You too can send a note of care and support to remind folks living in very stressful circumstances that we are thinking of them and they are not alone. Thank you, Barbara. In that spirit, will you join me in a centering practice of thinking about what it is to be connected in this interdependent web that we know that we live in? You can close your eyes. You can simply let your gaze go a little bit unfocused. You might want to get your feet square on the ground. You might want to get your shoulders kind of settled if they're up near your ears, which they often are these days. Maybe that's just me. Let your jaw unclench. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel that you share these movements of air, of love, of connection. We are not alone in this world, in our work, in our aspirations. That third point to all of our relationships, which helps to hold us. I have a poem to share. You can remain in a posture of meditation if you like, or you can bring your attention back into this room. This poem is called Spiderweb by Kay Ryan. From other angles, the fibers look fragile, but not from the spiders. Always hauling coarse ropes, hitching lines to the best posts available. It's heavy work every place. Fighting sag, winching up give. It isn't ever delicate to live. May we feel ourselves in these spider webs, flimsy and also strong, and support each other in hitching our lines to the best posts available. To help us in this work, we're going to join in singing. We're going to sing number 1031, Filled with Loving Kindness. This is a musical version of the metta meditation from the Buddhist tradition. Cheryl is going to lead us, and if you happen to know the harmonies, feel free to bring them in.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
Did you ever think there might be a fault line passing underneath your living room? A place in which your life is lived in meeting and in separating, wondering and telling, unaware that just beneath you is the unseen seam of great plates that strain through time, and that your life, already spilling over the brim, could be invaded, sent off in a new direction, turned aside by forces you were warned about but not prepared for. Shelves could be spilled out, the floor set at an angle, in some seconds shaking. You would have to take your losses, do whatever must be done next. When the great plates slip and the earth shivers and the flaw is seen to lie in what you trusted most, look not to more solidity, to weighty slabs of concrete poured, or strength of cantilevered beam to save the fractured order. Trust more in the tensile strands of love that bend and stretch to hold you in the web of life that's often torn, but always healing. There's your strength. The shifting plates, the restive earth, your room, your precious life, they all proceed from love, the ground on which we walk together.
When we are in times of trial, in times of crisis, whether that is very personal or national or global, we do well to take some time to look to and tend to our foundations. Parker Palmer wrote about it this way back in 2009. He wrote, "There was a time when farmers on the Great Plains, at the first sign of a blizzard, would run a rope from the back door out to the barn. They all knew stories of people who had wandered off and frozen to death, having lost sight of home in a whiteout while they were still in their own backyards. Today," he says, and this was in 2009, but only more so today, "we live in a blizzard of another sort. It swirls around us as economic injustice, ecological ruin, physical and spiritual violence, and their inevitable outcome, war. It swirls within us as fear and frenzy, greed and deceit, and indifference to the suffering of others. We all know stories of people who have wandered off into this blizzard and been separated from their own souls, losing their moral bearings and even their mortal lives. They make headlines because they take so many innocents down with them. My own experience of the blizzard," he says, "which includes getting lost in it more often than I care to admit, tells me that the soul's order can never be destroyed. It may be obscured by the whiteout. We may forget or deny that its guidance is, in fact, close at hand. Yet we are still in the soul's backyard with chance after chance to regain our bearings. This story is about tying a rope from the back door to the barn so we can always find our way home again. When we catch sight of the soul, we can survive the blizzard without losing our hope on the way. When we catch sight of the soul, we can become healers in a wounded world, in the family, in the neighborhood, in the workplace, and even in political life, as we are called back to our own hidden wholeness amidst the violence of the storm. So that only feels more relevant today in these stormier times, when we do well to look for the tensile strands of love, the rope of our values, which only becomes more necessary the more chaos we live among. As Unitarian Universalists, part of our foundation, our rope back to the hidden wholeness, the order of our souls, can be found in these practices of covenant and right relations. Right relations is a term that appears in a variety of traditions, not only ours. It shows up in Buddhism, it shows up among the Quakers, it shows up among moral and ethical philosophers. And like so many widespread ideas, it is much easier to describe than it is to truly live. In our Time for All Ages, we talked about covenant, we talked about that connection between us and also to our aspirations, to our values, to our goals of how to be together. And in our reading, my colleague, the Reverend Robbie Walsh, described the tensile strands of love, often torn but always healing. These reminders tell us that to be in right relationship is not some permanent state we arrive at and then never leave. It is instead a set of practices that we undertake in our relationships with each other. Practices as simple as noticing when something has gone awry and figuring out what sort of repair is needed. Because there just is no perfect relationship. I like to tell myself it's just physics. We live in a universe with entropy. Things fall apart, they tend towards chaos. That happens no matter what. And sometimes it's more than just entropy. Sometimes it is having a bad day and not getting recentered and taking it out on someone else. That happens too. So it is valuable always to cultivate these practices, to remind ourselves that there is no shame in needing to return to right relations. It is just the business of being human in this world. So what are these practices? It's not just tying yarn back together. First, a practice of real communication, seeking to actually tune into each other, making sure that what you're hearing is what the other person is trying to say. The sociologist Brené Brown talks about the practice of telling yourself more than one story so that you don't get too attached to one version. She has, I'm going to paraphrase this isn't literally her story, but she has a number of stories about moments of miscommunication with her husband, where she says, I get myself all twisted up thinking, well, he didn't answer my call because I didn't do the dishes before I left the house this morning, but it's not my fault. I had a very busy day, and he should have done the dishes anyway. It was his turn, and in fact, I'm mad at him. And she says, well, hold on, Brené. Is that the only reason he didn't answer the call? Maybe he's having a busy day at work. Maybe he's actually feeling very stressed about something that is happening in his pediatrics practice. Maybe his phone was just on silent and it was in his desk and he didn't even know. Maybe I should lead with not knowing for sure what the story was, instead of getting mad before I even really know what's happening. Right? Having a real conversation. What is going on for you? When this happened, I felt this way. What was happening for you when that happened? And maybe, when you know you are the one who has made a mistake, if you are feeling particularly spiritually enlightened that day, you can even proactively reach out and say, I want to apologize. This just happened to me last week. I was at a conference in Albuquerque with all of several hundred UU ministers from all over the country, and I saw a friend of mine who I had not seen in many months, and I rushed up to her to give her a hug, and afterwards I said, oh, I forgot to tell you, I think I might be getting a cold. And she was like, well, I don't want your cold. And I said, I think I need to apologize. I got so excited to see you, But I should have stopped first and said, I have a bit of a sniffle and a sore throat. Is it okay if I give you a hug, or would you rather I greet you from over here? And she said, well, thank you. Thanks for noticing. You didn't mean anything bad by it, but you noticed that I was uncomfortable. And I said, yes, and I will do better next time. And for the rest of the week, I would greet people and I would say, before we hug, I want to tell you, I think I'm getting a cold. And some of them would say, I have preschoolers, I don't care. And some of them would say, oh, thank you, I'm going to give you an air hug from a couple feet away. It was a good reminder, not only for that one friendship, but for all my relationships. These acts we can undertake together, where we are curious about the other person's perspective, where we try to communicate, really figuring out what's going on for all of us, where we are willing to notice when an act of apology or repair is needed. These are all actions that are part of right relations, and they are all actions that strengthen our connections to each other. And it doesn't just happen among humans. It also happens across species. If you have companions in your life, cats, dogs, birds, horses, any of a variety of creatures, you may have experienced this too. The way you tune into each other. The way someone furry might come and comfort you when you don't feel well. The way you might notice if they're nervous when a visitor comes to your home. It doesn't look exactly the same because we don't have a shared verbal language. Often it involves much more paying attention to body language, but it is still possible to tune in. So we are, in fact, invited into these right relations practices across species, and even invited to honor the particular gifts, not only of other humans in our community, but of members of other species. So we have a special interlude in our sermon today, which is to honor some of these animal companions with these particular gifts to share. Eric Schumann and Archie the therapy dog are going to come up and join me. And in a moment, Caleb will join us as well when it is time for a special exercise we will all share.
Hey, Archie. Come here, buddy. Hey, sweetheart.
I have a question for you. When would you guess the first time a certified therapy animal came to UUCS, and what was their name?
Pop quiz.
Nobody's brave enough to answer? Okay, I'll give you a hint. It wasn't a golden retriever. No brave souls out there this morning. Is it a lack of coffee? Over the past 20 years, George Pitter has brought 4 certified therapy cats to church. Maggie, Junior, who you see behind me, Leo, and Squeak. Now, George was going to be here this morning, but he got a flat tire. But you can thank him for 20 years of service with his dogs to UCS right now by looking at that camera and giving him a hand. Thank you, George. He brought his cats to the service and to the coffee hour, but there was no official therapy animal program yet at church. Then about 4 years ago, during a Lifelines lay ministers meeting, Reverend Rick suggested I bring Ricky, my then 6-year-old golden retriever, to church, and Lifelines became the official sponsor of a therapy animal program which allowed members and friends and their children to interact with dogs and cats here at church during the coffee hour after the service and in the religious exploration program. Well, later on, we adopted Kimber, who was Ricky's littermate, whom you see there on the right. And after Ricky died last spring, we adopted Archie. He was only 14 months old when we adopted him in October. Archie, I'm pleased to say, was certified as a therapy dog on January 1st. And he is the boy who's with me this morning. Well, just like many humans, as Reverend Monica was saying, animals can tell us what's comfortable and what's not when we interact with them, and especially when we greet them for the very first time. Now, Ricky and Kimber were always very laid back about meeting new people, but after he was certified, I learned that Archie could be just a little bit wary when he was approached in certain ways. So as you heard, Caleb Jocelyn is going to join me today, so come on up. Caleb is 9, and he's in the 4th grade. I learned that when he was in the 2nd grade, he had a passion project. And what was it called?
Why are dogs so loyal?
Why are dogs so loyal? Now, when I visit a grade school, I ask the kids in the class, now, when you're meeting someone for the first time, would you like them to tap you on the top of the head and then say, hello?
No.
And yet that's what most of us do with dogs, don't we? Now, most everyone, let's move that way a little bit so
Come on,
I
Archie.
can see us.
Follow Dad, come on.
Most everyone has been taught to extend their hand, Archie, like this, to allow a dog to sniff their hand. Raise your hand if that's what you do. Almost everyone. Believe me, a dog's smell receptors are 1,000 times more sensitive than ours, and they can smell you when you walk in the front door. So you don't need to extend your hand. Furthermore, Archie,
Come
Archie.
back. Come back, buddy.
come.
Speaking
It's
of
all
smell
new.
receptors, he's like, I smell something over there.
In fact, if you do this, that is a position of dominance, and it can intimidate a dog. So, don't do it. We were all taught incorrectly. And we've learned with experience and with science that that really isn't the best way to greet a dog. Now, when you want to meet a dog for the first time, what are you going to do, Caleb?
Well, first you have to ask their owner if you can pet them, and then you just say their name and let them walk up to you.
Yeah. You greet them in a happy voice and let them come up to you. So, do your thing, Caleb. So Archie would love for all of you to pet his chest, his neck, his back, or his tummy. You couldn't see it during the Time for All Ages, but there were 5 kids petting his tummy at once. And he was like this in heaven. So it's a pretty safe bet that any friendly dog you meet, whom you pet, like Caleb is petting Archie, is going to feel just the same. So what do you think, Salem UUs? Did Caleb do a great job greeting Archie?
Yay!
So one last thing. I want to teach you a new word. It's a Hawaiian word. Kahu. K-A-H-U. Kahu. Now we think of ourselves as dog owners or pet owners. But we're really more than that, aren't we? We are their protectors. We are their guardians. That's what kahu means, and that's how Hawaiians refer to themselves with regard to their pets. And now, so do I. So thank you, Caleb, and thank you, Reverend Monica, and thank you, congregation.
And thank you, Eric and Archie. Where are you going, buddy? You gotta wait. You gotta come back this way. There you go. A few more practices for right relationships. Not as fun as meeting a dog. But it is also true that the foundation beneath the foundation, the way that we prepare ourselves to show up and to be in right relationship with members of our own species and members of other species, involves what these days we call self-regulation. It's had a lot of names, but right now we talk about regulation, meaning noticing when your nervous system is on high alert, noticing when you are stressed or flooded with adrenaline, which is like a lot of the time these days. Including, if you're just scrolling social media and you read something alarming, if you open up a newspaper app on your phone and you read something alarming, and oh my goodness, you were just on like a 5-minute break from your workday or about to pick up your grandkids, and you're like, well, I don't want to feel like this as I go about the rest of my time. Here are a few simple embodied self-care tips. Some of them you may already know. One is called box breathing. Right? We know that for some people, taking long, slow breaths is a signal to the body like we are okay. We don't need to be panting and hyperventilating and running. We are okay. So in box breathing, you breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold that in breath for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And remain empty for 4 counts before doing it again. That is one simple way to do it. And if 4 counts doesn't work for you, it's not a magic number. 3 works, 5 works. The point is to help yourself breathe deeply, slowly, and mindfully. We also know, well, we don't know why it works because brains are mysterious. But we know that tapping that involves both sides of our body, right, bilateral it's called, also helps us. Some people will do this as simple as bringing their thumb and fingers together. I know some people who make it a little puzzle for themselves, so they try to do opposite fingers, right? So you start with a pointer finger on one hand and a pinky on the other. Really makes you concentrate. Some people will do what's called butterfly tapping. You put your arms crossed over your chest so you look like butterfly wings, and you can alternate, or you can tap both at the same time, whatever feels good. Swaying also, anybody who's had an infant or a toddler in their life probably remembers this. Swaying also is regulating, just swaying back and forth. Or while you're seated, swaying a little bit in your chair. And now I'm going to ask you to do one with me that may feel awkward or very silly. When I was at this conference, one of the courses I took was on trauma-inclusive ministry, and so we talked about all the things you can do when folks are, ugh. And one of them actually is to shake your body intentionally. So shake out your hands, shake out your arms. If you're really willing to look kind of silly, stand up and kind of shake out your whole body. Shake and shake and shake and shake and shake. This one's harder to do at your desk at work. It's not very low-key. But you can just shake yourself out. All these things help. You just kind of do it until you feel like, oh, I think that's enough. Don't do it until you feel awkward. That'll make you stop too soon. Do it until you feel like, oh, that's enough. We got up and shook it out in this conference room. And our instructor said, you're going to feel weird, but it doesn't matter. Close your eyes if you have to, but like shake it out anyway. One of the greatest things they said is if there's music on so that you can kind of sway and shake and dance all at the same time. And finally, if you are a doodler, and frankly, who is not, there is a technique called neurographic drawing you can do. And our instructor said, we have zero idea why this works, but it works. You take a blank piece of paper, and you start making lines on it. Straight lines, curved lines, squiggly lines, any lines you want, so long as they intersect with each other. And when you've got a bunch of lines on the paper, you take your pen or your pencil, you start at the end of one line, and you start reinforcing it, darkening it. And when you come to an intersection of lines, you round off all the corners. And then you keep going. Darken some more. Get to the next intersection. Round off the corners. Keep going. Do this until every line is reinforced and every corner is rounded. Why does that help? We don't know. But in studies, it does help to calm down our nervous systems. And then if you feel very creative, you can get some colored pencils and kind of shade it in like it's a stained glass artwork. These are tools to help us settle ourselves down so we can show up for each other the way that we want to. So, take them out. Use them in whatever way is right for you. Try them on, and if they don't work, try on another one. But remember that taking care of yourself is the foundation under the foundation. And remember also that you can ask for help. You do not have to regulate yourself alone. We also talk about co-regulation, finding a friend who can listen, who can go for a walk with you, who can drink tea. Make sure in these times that you care for yourself so that you are able to show up in these relationships of care, which are what we all need in these times and frankly in every time. I hope you will join in these practices. May it be so.
Well, has been a theme through this service. We exist not just for ourselves, but to offer mutual support to each other. Together we become stronger, more resilient, and bonus, have more fun. Our financial offerings and pledges are part of what sustains this community. Each month, we share the offering with an organization that supports the needs and dignity of people in the larger Salem community. This month, it's Marion Polk Food Share, a food network that distributes food to meal sites, food pantries, foster homes, low-income daycare centers, shelters, and senior housing sites across the mid-Willamette Valley. Yes, and we also take your non-perishable food donations every Sunday. But in this time of high need, we're asking for your financial support as well. Place your offering in the maroon bags being passed or visit the Donate tab online. Your generosity profoundly strengthens our covenant to affirm the dignity of all people. Thank you.
Expect the sun
Thank you all for your contributions. Will you join me in saying our words for giving thanks? They're up here, they're in your order of service. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our many gifts, including these offerings. It is almost cake time, don't worry.
We're getting there. Now is the time when we light the social justice lantern. Let us think of the flame today as lighting the path toward our covenant to right relations with ourself, with our neighbor, including furry and feathered ones, and to this precious earth. As the chalices are extinguished, be aware that in the solace of the dark, you may seek rest to restore your soul. And Monica might have an announcement or two.
I have one announcement, which is that today we are starting our workshops on this year's UUA Common Read. It is this book, Social Change Now. It's about all the different roles a person can play in working for change to build a better world. It is not all carrying protest signs, although some of it is. It is not all calling members of Congress, although some of it is. So if you would like to be part of that exploration, even if you have not signed up, you're still welcome to come. The first session is today at 1 in the fellowship hall. You don't even need to have a copy of the book yet. You just need to be interested in being part of the conversation. It is 3 sessions. today, next Sunday, and the 22nd. So come if you're interested. That's it.
All right, and shall we do our closing hymn?
Yes.
It is number 1058 in the teal hymnal, or it will be projected, Be Ours a Religion.
So rise in body, in voice, in spirit, whatever is right for you.
Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple all space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love.
Once more.
Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple all space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love.
Okay, while you're standing, I invite you to join me in saying our closing words, printed in your order of service or above my head. Touch elbows, hold hands, whatever is comfortable for you today. Ready?
May faith in the spirit of life, hope for the community of earth, and love for the sacred in one another be ours now and in all the days to come.
Blessed be and amen. That was full. A very full service.
A little longer than I thought it was going to, but that's okay. I dropped the last part.